The climate crisis demands a shift on how we produce and consume energy. Across continents, new dams rise from rivers, solar parks spread across deserts, wind farms carve the horizons, and mines bore into mountains for transition minerals, all hailed as part of a just energy transition, promising a cleaner, greener future. But behind this pursuit of progress, another story unfolds. What's called clean energy is creating new frontiers of massive land grabbing, and with them, conflicts. For indigenous peoples, the just transition has become another struggle for survival, marked by dispossession, violence, and fear. From the nickel mines of Palawan to the geothermal fields of Indonesia, a pattern emerges. Development justified by the climate crisis, imposed without recognizing the collective rights of the indigenous peoples to their lands, resources, and to free, prior, and informed consent.
The energy transition that is happening now is going the wrong way. It is actually green colonization because it's the same companies from fossil fuel companies shifting to set up renewable energy projects that the main objective is profit more than meeting the climate goal or the needs of the people.
In Palawan, the Philippines' last ecological frontier, green looks a lot like red. In 2023, floods turned rice fields crimson with silt and laterite from the open pit operations of Ipilan Nickel Corporation, mining nickel for electric cars and other clean technologies.
Hindi pwedeng pagsamahin ang pagmimina sa pagsasaka. Yun lang po. Kasi ang masama pong epekto ng mina, kaya ayaw namin ng mina ay yung laterite po, nasira yung tubigan namin, mga palayan, maisan, pati mga nyugan na ngayon.
For the Palwan, the transition to clean energy brought poisoned water, failed harvests, and fear. Those who spoke out were branded as anti-development, or worse, treated as criminals. From the mountains of Palawan to the volcanic slopes of Flores, Indonesia, the story repeats. In the name of energy transition, governments and corporations move in, often without the consent of those who call these lands home. In Pocho Leok, a state utility backed by a German bank is pushing a massive geothermal project approved without free, prior, and informed consent. It threatens forests, farms, and sacred grounds that the indigenous peoples have protected for generations.
Masyarakat adat Poco Leok pada hari ini adalah kami diancam oleh ambisi proyek transisi energi yang dilakukan oleh PLN bersama pemerintah di ruang hidup kami. Tentu saja itu akan mengancam ruang hidup kami, kesehatan kami, perekonomian kami, dan segala macamnya bagi kami. Posisi pemerintah memang karena pemerintah sendiri yang mendorong proyek ini untuk dilaksanakan, mereka pastinya pada posisi bagaimana supaya proyek ini tetap dilaksanakan. Dan mereka sangat tidak mendengar suara masyarakat kecil, mereka tidak mendengar masyarakat adat.
For the indigenous peoples here, this isn't just energy transition, it's displacement. The fields that promise renewal to the world have become battlegrounds for their rights and survival.
Sehingga sejak awal kami melakukan protes kepada pemerintah, juga kepada PLN sebagai pengembang proyek ini, serta kepada pendana dari proyek ini yakni KFW atau KFW. Germany Development Bank. Bentuk penolakannya itu demonstrasi, kemudian mengirim surat protes.
Across Indonesia, mining and geothermal projects continue to push deeper into indigenous territories. Around the world, transition minerals such as nickel, cobalt, and lithium lie beneath indigenous lands. The world's clean future is being built on ancestral lands. When the indigenous peoples of Pocoleoc resisted, armed forces arrived. Despite threats and attacks, their united resistance forced the bank to suspend its funding, a hard-won pause and a struggle far from over. For Indigenous activist and 2024 Right Livelihood Laureate Joan Carling, this is no isolated case. It's a pattern repeating across the world.
The other reality that we're facing with this kind of imposition of projects like the mining of critical minerals or the development of massive windmill or solar farms where our livelihoods and cultural heritage are found, when we protect these resources, when we assert our rights, we are being attacked and we are being criminalized and even killed.
Since 2021, Indigenous Peoples' Rights International has tracked nearly 500 cases of violence and harassment against Indigenous peoples in Asia, from arrests to killings. 24 of those cases are tied to energy transition projects, impacting close to 100,000 Indigenous women, men, and children. 18 of these cases stem from hydropower projects in the Philippines, India, and Nepal. The rest are tied to solar, geothermal, wind, and transition mineral mining across the region. From the Philippines to Indonesia, Cambodia, and India. Each number hides a face. Each statistic, a community. Every data point is a life caught between survival and someone else's idea of energy transition and progress. But not all stories of the energy transition end in loss. High in the northern mountains of the Philippines, the Isneg people of Apayao are proving that clean energy can flow differently. In Nabuangan village, they built 4 micro hydropower systems by hand, without corporate control or government contracts, sustained by the river and their unity.
Sakbay na dayta, yung plano mi nga tagalapat nga madaan iti microhydro, gaputa iti pinanpanunot mi daytoy masakbayan para kada tayo ingana iti kapututan. Kaswarigan ada dumawat iti microhydro kadagiti dadu mga barangay. Isuro mi dayjay mangi-manage mit lang ti importante unay.
Across the Philippines, nearly 3.6 million people still live without electricity. Many of them indigenous communities. Ironically, some of the biggest dams in the country rise from indigenous lands, yet bring no power to the people who live there. The electricity flows instead to industries and distant cities, while the villages at the source remain in the dark.
Idi ada kuryente min, ada nagbaliwan na, medyo lumagan iti kabibiyag mi. So nga pagyamanan mi tada microhydro ditoy.
And they're not alone. In Desa Tadungus, an indigenous community in West Kalimantan, Indonesia, renewable energy is also taking root, this time through collaboration. Indigenous knowledge from Sabah, Malaysia, was shared across borders to help Tadungus build its own clean energy system. By blending traditional wisdom with new technology, the community now has access to electricity while preserving its forest, culture, and way of life. These are the transitions that work, rooted in knowledge, powered by people, and sustained by the land itself.
The big difference of the leadership of indigenous peoples in relation to climate action is that we have the right values and principles. We have the principle of reciprocity and living in harmony with nature. That means we view nature as part of us. We don't view nature in terms of its commercial values that we can take advantage of. We value reciprocity, meaning that we only take what we need from nature, and we also take care of nature so that it takes care of us.
What's happening in Palawan and Apayao, in Pocholeoc and Tadungos, isn't just about energy, it's about power. Who holds it, who takes it, and who pays the price. Across the world, indigenous peoples are rewriting the story, proving that clean energy doesn't have to come at the cost of people or the planet. When they lead, the transition becomes a movement for justice, equity, and sustainability. If the world is serious about confronting the climate crisis, the path forward is clear and pressing. Build a just energy transition in partnership with indigenous peoples. They have protected the earth for generations, and they hold the wisdom to help save it.